Welcome to CDS, Custom Downstream System. My name is Jerry Lamort and I'm the Service Manager at CDS. Today we will be talking about the CCH 96-10 VQ, which stands for the CDS Cleat Haul-Off 96-inch long by 10-inch wide conveyor vector Quick-Change Cleat Puller. In this video, we're going to show you how to start up and operate your machine. Once your machine is removed from the skid, you'll be able to move it around easily because the machine is on casters. Two at the front will be swivel casters and two at the back will be fixed caster. You will need to be at least two people depending on the size of the machine. Obviously, the heavier the machine, the more people you will need to move it around. But as you may see, even though I'm alone, I can relatively easily move the machine as I need. Therefore, the first operation will be to bring the machine in line and put it into position. To level your machine, you will need a few items or a few tools. You will need a 4-foot level on the long side of the machine, and you will need a 2-foot level that we're going to put on the short side of the machine. Then we will also need a wrench in order to adjust and level the machine. Looking at this level over here, it seems that we need to increase by about 1/4 of an inch this side of the machine. So what we will need to do is, with the tool, we will adjust the jack screws. But in order to go up evenly, we'll need to adjust both jack screws at the same time. Always adjust 2 jack screws. So we'll do 1/4 of a turn. We will go on the other one, and we will do the same thing, 1/4 of a turn. We will continue by going slowly with 1/4 of a turn until we are perfectly leveled. Do not use a tool because you may overshoot. Ideally, always use a hand tool for this operation. Once both levels are 100%, your machine is leveled. The utility installation on this machine is pretty simple. We only have pneumatics and electricity. First thing we're going to connect is going to be the remote control. If your machine comes with a remote control, on the side of the electrical panel, you will have this outlet. What we need to do is just take the cable of the remote, insert it, and then lock it in. Then what we're going to do is connect the electricity. Have your local electrician do this part to connect any electrical components. Once he puts the plugs and everything is ready to be hooked up, the only thing we need to do is hook it up. And lastly, we will connect the pneumatics. So you will take your pneumatic hose and insert it in the FRL. And now all the connections are done. On this machine, we have several electrical controls. We will talk about the operator panel and the remote more specifically. Let's talk about the operator panel first. So on this panel, right now, because it's the first time that the machine has started, you're going to have the blue reset button. We will need to press the reset button to clear any faults and be able to activate all the electricity to the panel. Now, as you may see, the feet per minute display and the percentage of rate load have been lit up. On this panel, you have your start-stop button, the reset button that we discussed before, the open or close to control the pneumatics of the top conveyor. You have a selector switch for run operation or for cleat change when you need to change the cleats. And then a master follower, depending if you want an external speed reference. Master means the machine will be at speed reference with the potentiometer, and follower means that it will come from an external source. The feet per minute is the speed of the machine, and the percentage of rate load is what is the drive working at right now. Normally, it should be around the 65 to 75%. If it goes higher than that, you may have an issue with your mechanic or your electricity. So always keep an eye to make sure it's between 65 to 75. On the remote control, you have a couple of extra features, which is you're going to still have your speed display, but you will have your potentiometer and your start-stop. So let's say I start the machine right now, a speed indication will appear, and I will be able now to adjust with this potentiometer. Once this is done, we can stop the machine also from the remote. On this machine, you have a feature that is called Cleat Change. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to activate with the selector switch, switching from run mode to Cleat Change mode. We're going to now open the glass. And you're going to have the jog feature over here, which you will be able to move the machine or move the cleat without having the machine in the run position and having the door open. You will not be able to start the machine because you are essentially in a fault status where your door is open, but you will only be allowed to start the machine if with both hands you activate the jog button. Once you do this, you can, after opening up the spring, remove the cleats, activate the machine, and then put the cleats that you need for your next production run. Once this is done, we will continue the process for the top and bottom. Once you're finished, close the door. We will go back to our selector switch. And we'll put the machine in run mode. This way we're good to start the machine normally. One mechanical adjustment that we have on this machine is actually with the use of the hand crank. So this is to control the bottom conveyor to bring up and down. So we're going to activate the lever, and when we turn towards the right, we are able to increase the height of the bottom conveyor. Another mechanical adjustment that we have is the height of the guide roll. Here on the bottom we have this hand wheel. By going in one direction, we were actually lowering the guide roll assembly, and by going in the other direction, you will raise it up. Once you have the right height according to your product, we can adjust the width of the rollers. We can undo the screw on top, bring the rollers closer together or further apart, depending on your product, and then make the adjustment and lock them in. And this is for guide roll adjustment. When you buy a puller, it will not come with an encoder, but it will come with an encoder mount. One of the first things you will need to do in order to be able to use any cutting device or any cutting saws or even a cutter is you will need to mount the encoder. You will need to mount the encoder where it's the designated location, and this will be done separately. Keep in mind that the encoder adapter, the encoder assembly might differ from one machine to the other. The pneumatic controls on this machine is pretty simple. So basically, we have the open-close button. That's to open and close the top conveyor. The close pressure, and then the balance or the counterbalance pressure. To activate it, we just start the descent, and then we adjust the close pressure. The machine has a maximum of 80 psi. If you try to go over 80 psi, there's a safety function that will prevent you from going higher than that. If you need less pressure, just reduce your close pressure, and you will hear the valve opening. If you need to add balance or counter pressure, what this does is that it sends air on the opposite section of the cylinder. By doing that, your puller will start to open a little bit if you send too much pressure. This is done to prevent your top conveyor to squash the product. You will still have a clamp pressure, but now you're introducing counter pressure to your conveyor. This machine offers several safety features. As you may see, we have a full safety cage with access doors, a safety tunnels, the e-stops, and also the safety switches. If ever you were to open the door of the machine will go right away in fault. You will not be able to start it. In order to start it, you will need to close the door or remove the safety fault, reset the fault, and now you're able to start your machine. If during an operation there is an emergency that you need to stop the machine right away, you have e-stops located at the corner of the safety cage. What you need to do is just hit the button. You will see that the light of the button who is engaged will come on, and your machine will stop. To reset it, pull out your e-stop. What's going to happen is that the light will go off. Press the reset button, and now you're able to restart your machine. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe, comment, and also share this video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your local sales territory manager. Also, come visit our website, cdsmachines.com. The link is in the description below. Thank you.